Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Learning Path. This is Dr. B. Meena, Head Department of Commerce and Vice Principal Shift 1 from Petition College of Arts and Science, Adayar, Chennai. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to prepare simple process accounts. Let me check one problem. Calculate the cost of each process and total cost of production from the data given below. As per this problem, we have three processes, process 1, process 2, process 3. The respective expenses amounts were given. The expenses are material, wages, direct expenses, and works overhead. The respective amounts were given. Apart from this, other indirect expenses 1,275 should be apportioned on the basis of wages. So 1,275 is the total of indirect expenses. We need to apportion between process 1, process 2 and process 3 on the basis of wages. So what are the wages for process 1, 2 and 3? 1,200, 3,900. If we simplify these amounts, we'll get the ratio. The ratios are 4 is to, first I will cancel 2 zeros from each amount. So divisible by 3. So 4 is to 10 is to 3. So this is the ratio. Based on this ratio, I will apportion the 1,275 to 1, 2, 3 process. Let me check the solution, how I prepared. For this simple process account, these are the columns is enough. So particulars amount and particulars amount debit and credit side. On the debit side, I debited all the expenses given as per this problem: material, wages, direct expenses, works overhead, indirect expenses. So till the works overhead, I debited all the amounts, whatever is given as per this problem. And indirect expenses, 1,275 is the total applicable for all three processes. Then how I apportion for process 1 means based on the direct wages ratio. What is the direct wages ratio? I simplified 4 is to 10 is to 3. So 4 by 17 for process 1, 10 by 17 for process B, 3 by 17 for process 3. So out of 1,275, what is for process 1? 4 by 17. So what is the value I'm getting? 300. So since it's a simple process account, I will close the debit side. Whatever amount I'm getting on the debit side, that is the cost of the output of process 1. So this cost of the output for process 1 will transfer to the next process. Since it's a simple process account, it will be like that. Then process 2, I transfer from process 1, 6,140. The same way I debited all the expenses, and then 2 indirect expenses, 1,275. Out of this, 10 by 17 means 750 is the value. So get the debit side total and transfer this total on the credit side. That is the cost of the output of this process 2, which will be transferred to the next process. Then the process transfer is made in the process 3 account and debit all other expenses in as usual way. Out of 1,275, what is the ratio for process 3? 3 by 17. So 225, get the total of the debit side. 17,520 is the cost of the finished stock account. Since it's a last process, already I told in the previous video, whenever you are getting a balance in the process 3 account, I mean the last process, the output has to be termed as finished stock account. So 17,520. So this is one of the problem model under simple process account. Let me check out one more problem under simple process account where the stock of the materials were given. Okay. Calculate the cost of each process and total cost of production from the data given below. We have three processes, A, B, and C. Look at the information very clearly. These are the expenses: wages, material, and works on cost. These are the expenses to be debited on each process in as usual way. And third information, production, the output for process A, the output for process B, the output for process C were given, that is 72,000 units, 75,000 units, and 96,000 units. Okay. Then next is, look at this two last information very clearly, understand stock in the brackets given units from preceding process. What do you mean with preceding process? The previous process. So there is a opening stock. How I came to one conclusion opening stock, the date were given 1st July 2007. The next information, 31st July 2007. So 1st July, I can assume it's opening stock. 31st July, I can assume as a closing stock. So opening stock from the previous process, process A is nil. Process B is 8,000 units and process C is 33,000 units. So since the units only given, how can I value this units means, since the 8,000 units which is given in the process B is from the previous process. I mean the process A, from the process A only this opening stock is coming means whatever rate I calculated, I'm going to calculate for process A output, that rate only applicable for the opening stock of 8,000 units, which is going to be debited in process B, right? Or can you able to understand? Then 33,000 units is the opening stock for process C, which is given the problem. This 33,000 units is from the previous process. Because what is the previous process for process C? Process B. So previous process of process C is process B, sorry. So whatever rate I calculated for process B for the output, that is the rate I'm going to apply for this 33,000 units as an opening stock for process C. I think you are all understand. The same thing, the closing stock. Closing stock is given only for B and C. So 2000 units only given. So whatever rate applicable for the previous process, that same rate will be applicable for the current process for opening stock as well as the closing stock, because it's given very clearly units from preceding process. So units from preceding process means whatever rate I showed in the previous process, that rate only I can apply whether it is opening stock or closing stock. That is a specialty of the problem I want to highlight in this. Now look into the process A account. I debited the expenses 60,800, 11,200, and then I got the total as 72,000. The same amount I would transferred on my credit side, that is the cost of the output of process A account, which is to be transferred to B account as an input. Since the value is 72,000 and output is given, output for A, how much is given? Can you check out? So output of process A is 72,000 units, right? And the value of the amount I got it for process A debit side total is 72,000 rupees. So 72,000 rupees divided by 72,000 units. 72,000 units is given the question itself. But 72,000 rupees is the amount I calculated by totaling the debit side. So what could be the rate per unit? 1 rupee. So process A is over. This process A output will be transferred as a process B input. So to process A account I showed here. What is this opening stock? I explained in the beginning, no. So opening stock is given for process B is 8,000 units, right? So 8,000 units. Since this 8,000 units from preceding process, I mean the previous process, what rate I calculated? 1 rupee, the same rate only applicable. The same way, whatever closing stock I'm going to show on the credit side, closing stock means we will show in the credit side. So what is the closing stock is given in the problem? The closing stock for process B is 2,000 units. This 2,000 units, since it is from the preceding process, I mean the previous process, so for 2,000 units also I showed what rate? 1 rupee. So 2,000 rupees. So I think you all understand how I showed the opening stock with the rate 1 rupee and the amount, and the previous process output will become as an input, and I debited other expenses and I showed the closing stock. Okay, then what is this process B output? What is the process B output? 75,000 units is the process B output. Okay, now I have to compare it. Is there any wastage? How can I calculate the wastage? Means what is the total units as input for process B? 8,000 plus 72,000, 80,000 units I gave as an input, right? Out of 80,000, what is my closing stock? 2,000. What is my output, which is given the question itself? 75. So output is 75, closing stock is 2,000, means the calculations came around 77,000 out of 80,000. 80,000 is my input. but the output and closing stock came around 77,000. So what could be the wastage during the process 2? 3,000. Since for this wastage we don't have any information as scrap, so I put nil for rate column and amount column. Okay, then I calculate the wastage. Then I show that is showed the total for the debit side units column and amount column. Amount column total is coming as 1,14,500. What is the amount so far? I credited 2,000. So what is the balancing figure? 1,12,500. I repeat, 1,14,500 is the total of the debit side, and 2,000 amount is the amount so far I credited. So 1,12,500 is my balancing figure. That is the cost of the output of process B. How I calculate the rate per unit for this process B output? 1,12,500 divided by 75,000. Then I will get the rate per unit is 1.5. So this is the way how we can prepare the process B. So this process B output will be the input for process C. So I transferred here for process C. Then opening stock, what is given for opening stock? Opening stock is 33,000 and closing stock is 11,000. Okay, so 33,000, and what is the rate I calculated for the previous process? 1.5. So this 1.5 only is applicable for opening stock as well as the closing stock. So 33,000 into 1.5, I will get 49,500. By closing stock, 11,000 into 1.5, 16,500. Okay. Then as usual, I will close the debit side, units column as well as amount column. So now I compare the units total input I gave in this process as 1,08,000, 75,000 plus 33,000. So 75,000 plus 33,000, what is the input I'm getting? 1,08,000. So 1,08,000, what is the output of this last process? 96,000 as per the problem. Look at that, check it out. What is the output is given this problem? 96,000. The problem itself, we have the output and all. So that's what I showed here, 96,000. So out of 1,08,000, 96,000 is the output and closing stock is 11,000. So what is the wastage? 1,000 is the wastage. So which doesn't have the recovery value. So I'll put nil for rate column as well as amount column. Then I showed the debit side total 2,32,500 minus what is the amount so far I credited? 16,500. So what is the balancing figure? 2,16,000 is the cost of the output of this process. Then how I calculate the rate per unit? 2,16,000 divided by 96,000, 2.25. So 2,60,000, how I calculated 2,16,000? 2,32,500. So far I created 16,500. So 2,16,000 is my balancing figure, and 2,16,000 is the cost of the output divided by 96,000 units, means what is the rate per unit? 2.25. So this is the way how you can prepare the simple process account. Thanks for watching my video. Subscribe my channel, click the bell button. We'll see you in the next video for marginal costing.